and thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. Export volumes for the first half declined by 38% YOY, and for September, we have seen a significant rebound from a 3-year low in the month of August. If you can tell us what led to this, and do you expect export volumes to shape up and revive going forward in the next few months?
Export volumes overall, if you see the first 6 months of financial year, Indian financial year, the exports have dropped by over 35%. Specifically in September, we have seen a sharp increase. So the increase is largely because of the news that government may revise export duty on low grade of iron ore, which currently attracts 0% duty. So with that news, there was increment in the export volumes. But if you see the overall, export volumes for FY26 Indian financial year, we expect or we project volumes to be lower by 30-35%. So if I have to give you numbers, last year we exported approximately 35 odd million ton. This year it is expected to be somewhere between 22 million ton in the FY26.
Okay, so that's as far as the latest data is concerned. But I was also going through your data sheet, which suggests that iron ore prices in China have risen of late. If you can tell us how much have prices risen by in China, and how is the price increase then impacting export of iron ore and pellets from India? Is it impacting India in any case?
So iron ore prices in China have increased, between 5 to 10% in last 6 months. It has not impacted the volumes significantly from India because Indian exports. If you see, if I have to give you the numbers, so the production in India, the iron ore production in India has been very flat in the first 6 months of the financial year, whereas the demand has increased by approximately 8%. So that has not resulted in the higher export numbers. Despite increased prices in China, we do not expect that will result in higher volumes of iron ore exports in the next 6 months.
Okay, so that's as far as the price increase is concerned in China. But Mr. Goel, several reports also suggest that India could impose export duty on export of iron ore and pellets from India. If you can share with us, have you heard anything on this front from the government or the industry at large? And what are you expecting when it comes to imposition of export duty for export of pellets from India?
So there was a meeting on 26th of August by the Ministry of Commerce, which was chaired by Honorable Commerce Minister Mr. Piyush Goel, and it was held on the request of industry that they are facing iron ore issues in the market, and that is leading to increased cost of production. So Mr. Piyush Goel chaired this meeting on 26th of August. And one of the point that they mentioned that in case if India fails to increase the iron ore production, the government will consider an export duty on iron ore of all grades. Currently, as I mentioned, that below 58%, India does not attract. There is no export duty on that. Nothing has happened at the moment. I think it is still under discussion. Government is still watching that what is the production volumes for next few months. As I mentioned that in the first 6 months, the production was very flat. Largely, the production has dropped from Odisha because of the extended monsoon. But we expect that in next 6 months, the volumes will catch up.
Understood. So volumes are expected to catch up in the next 6 months, and that's the expectation with respect to imposition of export duty on export of iron ore from India. But Mr. Goel, Street was also expecting steel demand to recover after military parade in early September in China, which also led to surge in exports from India. How did that transpire? And if you can tell us, did steel demand price actually rise after the military parade?
So not really. There are fundamental problems in Chinese market, especially the real estate and the infrastructure segment. The demand, especially in the real estate segment, has been falling month on month basis. And going forward, because this is a winter season in China wherein they undergo maintenance. So we expect that the steel production will be lower compared to the previous months, and that will lead to lower iron ore demand in China as well.
Okay, so that means demand in China will be in focus. But if we look at the sector per se, how do you see India's iron ore balance, production, demand, and trade shaping up in the second half of this fiscal?
So overall, in the second half of this fiscal year, we expect production to increase. As I mentioned, that the first half was very flat. If I have to give you numbers, we produce approximately 135 million ton of ore, which was probably 1% higher compared to the last financial year during the same period. But we are expecting that the next 6 months the production will increase, and the entire year's production will be anywhere between 300 to 305 million ton against 290 million ton in the last financial year. Exports, we project that exports will be lower by 30-35% in this financial year, and imports will increase significantly. Last year, we imported approximately 5 million ton. This year, we are projecting imports to be anywhere between 10 to 11 million ton. And overall demand, iron ore demand is expected to increase by 8 to 10% in this financial